All right, it's
Are we like
recording, so.
at a seminar then?
Great. Yes, let's do the Socratic seminar.
Oh wait. Okay, this is weird with the readings being so short. I feel like I've pretty much gone over everything except for the Bluey episode. But I think this Blue episode was the same one as we talked about last week.
Yeah, I think it was.
I'm so excited they're shorter. I had no idea.
I know. I was like reading so much.
Yeah.
Maybe
Uh,
we can come up with just questions to talk about, and then we can do like exam prep because that could be helpful too.
Yeah.
oh, I had a question. I don't know if this was in the other reading because I did on the document, but it was talking about cognitive therapy and how, the natural human self of us is to always be striving to be as perfect as we possibly can. And so I guess my question is how do we not get in that perfect mindset or have our students always in that mindset, if that makes sense? I don't know, because I feel like, at least for me, like it's very natural to get in that mindset. So I don't know.
First thing that comes to mind for me is um, just like taking time to celebrate wins and not like not moving on so quickly that you're like, oh, yeah, you're done with that. So here's the next thing because there's just this huge list of things we need to do. So yeah, just like celebrate and then maybe give it a second and then like be like, okay, this is what we're gonna work on now. I don't know. First thought I had.
One of the things I think she said in that video that I really liked was um to be more real, authentic, and happy. So letting go of trying to be everything for everyone else and just being everything for yourself can really help get out of that perfectionism. Um and I struggle with being perfect at everything because I'm like, if I'm not perfect, then it's not good. So, um, I'll let you know if it works. The forgetting, letting go of being it. But so I think just kind of trying to be more of who you are can help us get away from that perfectionism and stuff and just accepting that you are who you are.
I love that. I think it takes a lot of practice. It's very hard. My natural thoughts are like applying this spiritually because that's what I struggle with as well as just like feeling like I need to be perfect in order to please God. And just thinking back of what has helped me overcome that mindset is learning more about Jesus Christ's atonement and learning that I am like supposed to need him and rely on him and that like part of the plan is for me to make mistakes and then to be better because of them through Jesus Christ. And I love in the Book of Mormon, I can't remember the reference, but it says like come unto Christ and be perfected in him. And it doesn't say like be perfected by Jesus Christ. Like it doesn't say that we need to be like this perfect entity separate from Jesus Christ, but we're supposed to be perfect with him. And so that means that like my perfection only has to come when I'm in partnership with Jesus Christ. And that is possible because he's perfect and he can cover my weaknesses. Whereas if it was like, I need to be, even if Christ helps me, like I need to be perfect on my own, like that's totally unimaginable and unattainable. But the wording just is comforting to me. I can be perfect in Christ because he's always going to be by my side.
I love that. Those are all very good responses.
Well, I have like a Socratic question. What are like just on the topic of finding happiness this week? What are some like unglamorous things that you guys think contribute to a happy life? I don't know if that makes sense. I can reword it if you need. Let me know.
I think stopping and just looking at the little things has helped me see happiness. I'm taking a photography class right now, as well, and we have to submit photos every week. Um, and so that kind of really helps me stop and think about what I want to capture and um everything. And sometimes you just find little things that surprise you. Like I was last week I went up to the temple and just took pictures of the Rexburg Temple and around the grounds and everything. And I was just walking around and um, just in this little corner, there was just this tulip and like the sun was under some trees. There's like this tulip right in the middle and the sun was just hitting it perfectly. And it looked so pretty. And it just made me so happy seeing it. And so I think stopping and looking at the little things, whether literal little things or, little things that you see in your life, like a friend buying you a soda or someone smiling at you, kind of really helped me find happiness in my life.
That was awesome. Um, I'm gonna get back on topic, but I just want to say, McKendry, I literally just walked by you. Do you live at Kensington?
Yeah, I am in Kensington.
I live at Kensington too. We're in the same ward. And I
I was
walked
gonna
by
say, I
you.
thought I saw you, like you looked familiar, so I probably saw you at church one time.
So I lived in that room that you're in once. That was my first bedroom.
That's funny.
That's, that's fun. We'll have to say hi to each other at church. Anyways, that fun little tender mercy right there. So stuff like that, I feel like is really cool when the Lord, um, like just does little things, for you. But I feel like, what brings me the most happiness is I feel like a lot of times in the moment, like I'll recognize it a little bit, but I feel like I almost feel more joy, afterwards if I journal and reflect on things. And so, yeah, that's something that really helps me a lot. And I've done a gratitude journal on and off in my life. And I feel like whenever life starts to get harder, I mean, of course, there's a couple things that I'm like, oh, focus on this, focus on scripture study, focus on, all those other things. But I feel like also just like being grateful daily is so huge for me. And yeah, especially journaling for that makes me like sit down and make sure it happens. Have something physical to tie it to.
I think for me, this probably gonna sound very silly, but sometimes I go to do my homework and I don't want to do it. And I just think it's very burdensome sometimes, and I kind of get mad sometimes about all the homework I have to do. And so a few weeks ago, I decided that every time I would open my computer to do homework or open my textbooks or stuff, I would try to be happier, try to say, let's be happy before we do it. And honestly, even though it sounds so silly, it has worked. And I found more joy in doing my homework and more happiness and being grateful to get an education. And I tried to put it in perspective too of those in the world that really have the desire to get education and to go to college but can't afford it or don't have the means to get to America. And it's really put into a different perspective of just more gratitude, I guess, for being able to get an education.
On that subject, one of my favorite like insights from this week, I think it was one of the lecture videos, was where they talked about um gratitude journaling, but how it's more effective when it's like indebtedness, where you attribute your gratitude to somebody. And like one of the examples was, instead of saying like, oh, I'm so grateful to get an education, you say, I'm so grateful for my second grade teacher because they really helped me get here. And I thought that was so interesting that indebtedness leads to greater happiness, because I feel like just the word indebtedness like sounds sadder than gratitude. But it, yeah, that was really interesting to me, and I think it's so applicable to prayers. So yeah. Did anybody else have any questions come to mind? Anything?
I guess this is kind of just a follow up question on that. Hmm. I just I feel like it's fun to know how like the different ways that we ourselves find happiness. But I'm just curious about what ideas you guys might have about how you can like apply that as a teacher and like the things that we can do to like teach students how to find happiness. Something I've been thinking about a lot is like how I can teach gospel principles without teaching the gospel, you know? And I kind of like want to like figure it out because I think there's a lot of gospel principles that like are like solid things that we can teach to our students that like really could help them. So I was just curious if you guys had any thoughts about, especially the happiness route since we were talking about that.
I think for me, I wasn't always very good at it, but we really tried on my mission before we would come in for the night to say three things that we were grateful for. And even if it was just a really hard day and people just yelled at us and stuff, we still laughed about what we were grateful for. And so I was thinking about that the other day, and like in my classroom before we leave for the day, saying it, having every student when they walk out the door say three things that they're grateful for. And I feel like gratitude and happiness is so interrelated that they might be able to find more happiness. I don't know. I think it's a good idea, so we'll try to implement it, I guess.
That is a good idea. I like it.
Something that I was just thinking about, it maybe is a little silly, but like reframing things like out of a gospel perspective and just using like different words. I'll give an example. Like my response to a lot of things is like, oh, we need to say a prayer for them. But like if I was a teacher, I would say like, okay, everybody send a happy wish to Caitlin because she's sick today or something. Because like a happy wish, that's just like a happy little like thing that we can say in the classroom, and it doesn't mean prayer. But like really, when we like I've wished for things like that felt kind of silly, but like then God blesses me with it. So I do think like those feelings and those thoughts are basically prayers that are just less formal because God must hear them because he's answering them. And so I think that's just like a small little example, but you could apply that principle to other gospel principles.
This isn't really a gospel one. I can't think of anything right now. But I think a way to help our students find happiness is to remember that learning can be fun and it doesn't need to be just sitting at a desk listening to me talk the whole time. I don't want to talk at you the whole time, you know? Like so like finding ways to have fun with your students, but also then getting them to um be a part of the discussion and everything. My favorite classes are always the ones that we are moving around or doing a silly little group project or something like that. And so I think just finding ways to incorporate that into your class because it's hard to sit still for depending on what age you're teaching, but like for high school, sitting still for an hour is hard even for me. So just finding ways to get them moving and get them having fun and playing and stuff. And um, I think that's really important.
I really liked that because I feel like my mom taught me how to play and how to have fun. But I think some people's parents don't teach them how to play and have fun. And with technology so prevalent today, I think that like that's kind of a skill that like has to be taught instead because it's just so easy to just turn to technology instead when you're bored. So I think showing people how to have fun at school, not using technology is a good thing. I mean, yeah, teaching them how to have like positive social interactions too, lots of stuff, but I liked that. You guys all had great answers. Thank you.
Something I just thought of too, is making sure your students are connecting with each other, and being social. Because one of the lectures I watched was talking about how a sense of belonging can lead to happiness and meaning in life. So I think if we try to get all of our students to feel included, um, they'll feel happier. Because I know sometimes like I've sat in on classes or something, and there's always those like one or two students who are just like sitting in the back, like, don't notice me, don't like, or who aren't included in group stuff. They're always the last kids to be taken. So I think fostering a sense of community and a sense of belonging in your classroom can really help your students feel um, uh, happier.
Love it. I think that's awesome. Um, we can go do the quizzes. Another idea I had was maybe we could do the sorry, I just blanked. The like we could review the essay questions that could possibly be on the test this week. That's just an idea because I have not even looked at it, but I'm okay to do the quizzes too. Whatever you guys are feeling.
I totally forgot about the essay
The
question.
essay questions sound good. Where do you like see what they could be?
I think they're on that like master document thing somewhere.
Oh, with the stuff. Okay, yeah.
Can you guys still see me?
Oh, yeah, I see it. It's on the just like the master document of all the readings, and one of the tabs is essay exam questions.
Oh,
Ugh, there's a lot.
oh my gosh.
Sorry, my computer's moving really slow.
I could read us the first one. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So the first one is about statistics and experimental design. It says Mr. Jones is a middle school science teacher who decides to run an experiment. He gets permission from his school district and implements a teaching strategy in one of his two classes. One class continues with a lecture based approach, while the other uses hands on experiments, which Mr. Jones tends to favor. Mr. Jones gives both groups the same pretest to measure their baseline knowledge, teaches them the same content over 3 weeks using their assigned methods, and then administers the same post-test evaluate learning. After the experiment, Mr. Jones reports to his principal that the group using hands-on experiments does better and urges the school to adopt a kinesthetic approach. He finds a p-value of 0.15 and a Cohen's d of 0.01. He also finds other research literature that supports his view. He suggests to the principal that this is evidence that the experimental approach should be adopted in schools. Evaluate the quality of Mr. Jones' experiment design. Number one, analyze Mr. Jones's p-value, effect size, and his interpretation of these results. Explain the concept of alpha and how it applies here. So we can start with that and then finish the rest. Okay, well, the p-value is not very good.
Mm-mm.
Because the p-value will tell us what are the odds that this was all by chance.
Mhm.
And based on that p-value, it is pretty likely that it was just by chance. I guess that's not alpha though. Alpha is what they would have, like the standard that they set before the study to say this is the only p-value that we will accept. And I guess if he set a high alpha, like this would maybe be okay, but generally the alpha that is set is 0.05, which is much lower.
Mhm.
Does anybody want to talk about? I can keep talking. I just feel like I'm talking a lot, but I don't mind talking more. Did everybody figure out where it is?
Yes, I did. I'm just reading through
Yeah.
it.
Okay, I'll just be quiet and patient then.
Oh, you're good.
I think only using two classes as well. Um, Not really. I can't hear you very well, Lindy. Can't hear you at all now.
I can't either.
Now can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
I guess I just like I said I was on mute, but now you can hear me. Okay, that's good. Go ahead and continue.
you're good. Um, so I think, sorry, he only does it in two classes, and I just think that's kind of a small um test group because you have one control in one test group. So I think maybe if he was doing it across all his classes, it would make it a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
And I think that reflects in the Cohen's D because the Cohen's D is so low, and it's because the effect size, just basically what you were saying. But yeah, I think that just really ties in with the Cohen's D. And basically, like, this isn't the most high quality experiment that should like lead the principal to changing the like a school wide approach. Like if that teacher wants to change how he teaches, like go for it, bud. But like we don't need to create any big like policy changes in a school based on this experiment. Also, one of the key words to use is confirmation bias. And it says like Mr. Jones favors the hands-on experiments. So maybe that's how the confirmation bias is playing in because like he likes it better and so he thinks it's going to work.
Yeah, I wonder what it would be like if they tested all experiments or like how that would affect the data. I don't know.
Doesn't seem like there was any random assignment either. I didn't notice any throughout it.
I didn't notice any either, yeah. I think, like you were saying, with his preferring the hands-on, I think that definitely could have affected, or most likely did, um uh sorry, wow, affect how he interpreted his findings because he looks at it and he's like, oh, this one that I already like scored higher on the test, so therefore it is better, kind of thing. So I don't think we can really take his data to be all that telling.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys notice any strengths of his methods? Because it asks about strengths and weaknesses.
I think giving the pretest is smart, because it gives them a baseline.
Good point.
I guess it's good that like he uses other research literature, except the only problem is it supports his view. So then that's a weakness. So I don't know. Kind
Yeah.
yeah, both ways, I guess, kind of.
Is Lindy trying to? Lindy's
I
trying
was
to
gonna say, I don't think
hear
we
you.
can hear Lindy again.
No.
No.
You could throw it in the chat. You could like.
Can someone explain to me the Cohen's D again? I just am blanking on what that is.
I can do my best while Lindy
Okay.
is typing. So my understanding is that the Cohen's D tells us the relationship between two groups. So
Okay.
we look at the control group and we look at the treatment group. And if the Cohen's D is high, it tells us that these groups are like performing in a very different way. That tells us that the treatment or like the thing we're testing is making a big difference. Whereas if it's low, it's not making a very big difference. Like the both the groups are um, testing the same way, even though they're receiving different methods. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Thank you.
Of course. And it correlates with effect size. That's
Okay,
always, I associate those two in my brain that they go together.
Okay.
perfect.
Also, guys, I'm so sorry, but I do have to go. But this has been really, oh, um,
I agree with you, Lindy.
me too. Okay. This has been super good, but I do have to go. But thank you guys.
Yeah,
Best
we'll
of
see you
luck
at
for
Portland.
next week. Bye.
Yeah.
We should be almost done, right? Are we almost there? Because the last one was just under 30 minutes. It was like 29.3.
I have no idea how long this has been going.
And it's hard to tell. See if there's a timing anywhere. I think if we go for 2 more minutes, we'll be chilling.
Have you taken the quiz for this week?
I did, yes.
Okay.
The thing I can tell you, like the terms that I feel like there's always like some weird terms that I didn't notice in any of the lectures or the readings or anything.
I've
So
noticed that too, yeah.
yeah, which is like kind of frustrating, but it's okay. The ones that stuck out to me, p hacking means
Oh,
when people only report good p values.
yes.
And then there was questions about John Hattie's critics, like what they would say about him.
Okay.
There were some questions about different disorders and stuff, but it was pretty straightforward. Like if you know what anxiety is, like you'll be fine. Rumination is another word for spiraling.
Okay.
I thought, and then scientism is like it was kind of confusing, but it's like racism, except with science, where
Okay.
people like only like the science evidence and they don't accept other things as important. I'm sure you will learn more in the quiz,
Okay.
but those are some things that stood out to me. I don't know about you guys, but the quizzes are showing me what I did wrong now, which is
I haven't
a
taken it yet,
beautiful
so.
blessing. Yes, Lindy agrees.
Okay.
It like I could just like cry for how grateful I am. It makes it so much easier and less stressful.
I, I definitely agree. So that's good to know. Okay, perfect.
Should we call it good? I feel like we're probably good.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Well, I'll send that link when I get it figured out. Hopefully, sorry, Lindy, that your microphone isn't working. That's so sad.
No worries. I'm not even trying to. I'm just pretending like I'm mute.
Well, it's working now.
I was like, I can kind of hear you now.
That's okay.
And
Next
I
week
just
will be even
I'm
better.
mute.
Exactly. So with the recordings, are we supposed to upload it to YouTube and then send the link for YouTube? Like, how are we supposed to?
I think that's easiest.
Okay.
Like I tried doing it a different way last time and it didn't really work. But one thing I do know, I don't know if you've recorded before, but this was like something I had to learn is that right after you like end the Zoom meeting, it will convert it and then it will like show up in your like folders or whatever.
Mhm.
And then I have to move the video to the downloads or I can't find it later.
Okay,
I don't know if
perfect.
that makes
That's
but
good to know.
you've got this.
Okay, thanks, guys. I'm gonna end the
Sounds good.
Okay, see ya.